In the middle, I was wondering, are you still talking about me? I want to thank again Mr. Scindia, Dr. Saraswat, the faculty, the students, the Board of Governors for having me join this great forum. It's a true privilege for me, and thank you very much. I learned that last year, Mr. Tata had come to give this lecture. I've been very fortunate. Mr. Tata was one of our earliest investors. He's someone I've learned so much from. He's truly one of the greatest Indians ever. And these are obviously very, very big shoes for me to fill. You know, as I read up on the Scindia School, it seems like the vision of this school has always been very far-sighted. Starting with the founder, the late Maharaja Madhurao Scindia Ji I, when he was very clear that the school was meant to create leaders and visionaries for an independent India eventually. And that is quite visible as I spend time with the students today. There's a great deal of ownership, passion, energy that exists in each one of the students out here. I also learned that this school, in its quest for being ahead of the curve, was one of the first schools in the country to institute an information technology program back in 1980. Surprisingly, Infosys, the IT services bellwether, started in 1981. So you can imagine the kind of foresight this school has had. But very importantly, I actually want to mention one very important thing, which I've identified about the ethos of this school. And this has to do with an anecdote pertaining to Mr. Scindia himself. Back in 2008 or 9, around 2008, before the 2009 general elections, I was this young kid. I'd just started this struggling startup. This was not a Kunal Behl who will be invited to one of the most prestigious Founders' Days of the country. And I sent him an email saying, Mr. Scindia, I think the social media thing is a really interesting thing. It may have a great impact on the future of how political campaigns are run. I'd like to come and talk to you about it. Because I was always a geek, so I was always looking into new technologies, and back then social media was considered a technology, not something as pervasive as it is today. I remember I got a response within 45 minutes, and this is a complete cold call email for the most part. And he met me, he spent time with me, he gave me feedback, and asked me to come back, and I went back again, and we had a great discussion about this. What it taught me was that humility is such an integral part of the culture of this whole school and of everyone associated with it, which is such an integral component of dealing with success and dealing with failure through life. The students of this school have an incredible opportunity. They should be truly proud of themselves. I've traveled far and wide. I often go to schools to meet students. I would rate the Scindia School right up there in every possible way. As I was thinking about what should I talk about today, you know, I could talk about how to build an e-commerce company. I could talk about 10 things to think about before you start a company. But I realized that one of the most important lessons I have learned is about how do you deal with adversity and failure. Because don't believe the headlines. For every successful story, there are dozens and dozens of interspersed moments of failure. And it's very important for every person to remember that. Because to those who have been successful, it lends them humility. And for those who seek success, it lends them hope. The first thing I always think about is, especially in our society, and this is for the students, it is very, very important to never be concerned about, never be scared about what other people will say about whatever you want to do. Especially being scared about the fact that what will they say if you were to fail? Because then you would never start anything. It is not easy to start because there is always this fear that people will judge you. But here's the good news. People will judge you anyways. And so it is important that if it's in your heart that you want to do something, you want to start something, just go do it. Don't wait. I remember when we started almost 10 years ago now, we rented a small 200 square feet office which is in the basement of a rundown abandoned house in the furniture market of Delhi. We were paying 7,000 rupees rent a month. It was quite an expensive office for us. And we were slumming the streets in 45 degrees weather, Celsius weather in Delhi. We were going from one client office to the next. People wouldn't care what degrees we had. They cared about what we had to offer. They would keep us waiting for hours outside their offices, but it never broke us, never reduced our spirit. Because at the end of the day, this was our passion. This was our pursuit. This was our journey. And there were many people around us at that point who said, guys, you have this Ivy League education, you went to the IITs, what the hell are you doing with your life? Go take your jobs at Goldman Sachs or McKinsey or one of those hallowed institutions. What are you doing? But we always felt this was our dream. And we needed to protect this dream. We needed to nourish this dream. We needed to make this dream come true. And every passing day that went, we never felt the pressure that what if we failed, what would people say? Because if for a second we felt that, our entire resolve would melt away. Secondly, success is actually never permanent. It's never final. And failure is rarely fatal. It rarely kills you. What makes a difference is whether you have the courage to continue. There are enough moments in our journey where we have come to the absolute brink of no longer existing the following day. And it's also happened in my personal life. As students, I remember when I was in class 11th, I was asked to pursue IIT education. I'm sure many students here are doing that. And I spent 2.5 years of my life just doing that. No play, no video games, no movies, no girls, nothing. Only studies. And I didn't get in. After all that effort, I still didn't get in. And everyone around me was quick to call me a failure. But it didn't bother me. I kept my head down, studied, got into a good university, and it worked out. We started our company in 2007, 2008. Within 2 years, we ran out of money. All our savings were gone. We had only 20,000 rupees left in our bank accounts. If an investor told us, come to pitch to us to Bangalore, we said, let's just do a Skype. But we pulled out of that, even though we knew that there was not much hope. In 2013, a few years later, we had already raised a lot of money, a lot of investors had come in, but somehow the company was not going on track, and we were in trouble again. The market had changed on us. and we hadn't changed the business as fast as we should have. And we again had 1 month of money left. But we kept going, we just kept going, and someone extended us a loan, and that kept the company afloat. Within a year or two, we had raised another $1 billion from a company that had only 5,000 rupees left in the bank account. At each juncture, it would have been very easy to lose our resolve, lose our patience, lose all joy of coming to work every day and dealing with a tough situation. But I think that's where having a great partner, and I have the best partner anyone can have in Rohit, helps. In the end, I've realized that if you want to do something big, something great, it is absolutely critical to know that it is going to be tough. And it is going to take an enormous amount of energy. And there will be times where things will be on the down and low. But as long as you work in a spirited manner with passion and self-belief that you will pull out of this, I can tell you with guarantee, you will pull out of this. Finally, dealing with failure or dealing with a low point, dealing with adversity is extremely hard, extremely tough. But I've learned there is one great way of dealing with it emotionally, and that is to remember that there is always something in your life that you still love, and that all is never lost. And harnessing that positivity, if you know what you love, you already have. You will not want anything else. For the great students here, love your friends. Know who's the true friend who will recognize your tear rather than only your smiles. You just need one true friend. Love the knowledge you're getting. It will stick with you forever. Your faculty, your family is giving their lives, imparting their knowledge to you. You must cherish it forever. It will last you a lifetime, even if everything else goes away. Love your health. It is very, very critical to stay healthy, because if you are healthy, you'll be able to achieve everything you set out to do. And most importantly, love your country. We have the greatest nation on the planet, absolutely the greatest. Like many of you, I've traveled around the world to dozens of countries. And I've seen that the culture we have, the people we have, the society we have, the opportunity we have, the food we have is absolutely unmatched. It is unmatched anywhere in the world. Most importantly, going forward, the opportunity we have, all of us have, especially the young students here have, is unmatched. We must love that about our lives. We must love that we have been brought up in a free country which has all this to offer to us. Suddenly, the short-term pain starts looking short-term. Always remember, there is always a lot of positivity in our lives. That in the light of the deepest, darkest adversity, there is always something really good. And it's very important to latch on to it. Finally, this school, today I was in the exhibitions, and I have to say, I have never been this impressed at a school and all its activities and the talent and the hard work that the students and the faculty put in. The metal work, the work being done with wood, the work being done with vegetable colors, the work being done using robotics, 3D printing, you name it, this school has it all, and I've never seen it before. It is absolutely incredible what this school has to offer. But with that, for each of the students here, especially those who are clapping, make sure there is a sense of, you know that there is a sense of responsibility that comes with it. A deep sense of responsibility. You are the 550 students in this country who have this opportunity and these facilities available to you. World-class facilities. It is incumbent on you to make the most of it and become the leaders and the visionaries of this country for which the school was first set up. You know, in our journey throughout the last 8-10 years, there have been many ups and downs, but we never gave up. We came very close to giving up sometimes, but we never gave up, and we will never give up. But there will be challenges. But those challenges create opportunities. Opportunities to innovate, opportunities to outperform expectations, and opportunities to succeed. I can tell you, from what I saw earlier today, in this auditorium today, there is a Steve Jobs, there is an Elon Musk, there is a Mark Zuckerberg. And look left, look right, or look at yourself, it could be you. I'm so glad I was given this opportunity. I want to thank the entire ecosystem of the Scindia School for inviting me and for all the kind words and the generous words that were said. I really wish all the students and faculty stay focused, stay humble, stay blessed. I wish to be back, but I know I will always, throughout my life, cherish this opportunity. My greatest love to all of you. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.